Hello, it's Nikki. How's things? Welcome to part 3. I have named this one The Nature of the Beast. And I think that we have to fully pay attention to what is going to be required from your dream, from your big idea, from the situation, from your kind of lifestyle that you want to have, and really see it for what it is. And I certainly found that when I chose to become an actor. I knew it was, everybody told me, I was saying this at a family barbecue the other day, nobody really, not to them, because my family have always been very supportive, but anybody I met in the street, they were so, how are you going to do it? There's a lot of rejection. Oh, it's a really tough industry. Not many people make, like, all of this negativity, none of the good stuff. And so in a way, that negativity and that realism really served me, because I didn't think that it was all going to be all singing, all dancing, and all like easy peasy. I was almost prepared for the worst. So when I left drama school early with 2 jobs back to back, I was like, oh my goodness, this is great. This is surpassed my expectations. But I had to be really honest with myself about what it would take to fully commit to doing what I loved for a living. And I am pleased and privileged enough to say that for 23 years, for the most part, I would say 95% of the time, I have genuinely loved every working day. Yes, of course, there have been some hard bits. Yes, of course, there have been challenges. Yes, everybody gets a gloomy Tuesday. But on the whole, I wouldn't change it. And I have certainly played with this idea sometimes. And I had this again when we moved house. So I was just over 40, I think, when we finally got the keys. And it had been I don't know how this relates to other people's moving experience, but it felt really long for us. I guess because we've been preparing for it for so long and talking about it, and we've been talking about it all through COVID. So it felt like a long process. But there was a lot of back and forth. And I did have a moment one day of thinking, maybe I should be an estate agent, because I feel like I could do things differently. I feel like I could really help people, and I can write a really nice paragraph and all of this stuff. I then had a moment of saying to myself, no, I don't think you do want to be an estate agent. I think you just found something that gives you that, like, ooh, I'm good at this, and enjoying that process. But I knew the nature of the beast of acting was going to be contract work. And for any actor, even producers, even big Hollywood actors, it's very rare that people go back to back to back and they literally have, 50 years of never stopping working. And so this is where you come in terms of this conversation. I want you first and foremost to really hold space for the dream, your vision, what you want to do, and fully acknowledge not everything is going to be 100% and rosy. And I think once we do that, because sometimes we're coming to it, I guess, from a grass is always greener thing. And then 3 weeks in, we're like, oh, I didn't think I'd be worrying about this, or I wasn't expecting that, or, oh no, oh, it's a bit harder than I thought. If we fully acknowledge the full picture, that it's not all going to be a picnic and all lovely the whole time, I feel that is easier to bear. And once I know the reality of the situation, in a way, I'm like, great, I know what I'm dealing with. I know that it's not going to be all perfect all of the time. And so also, making the dream workable for me was that I had to build different a different set of tools around my dream than other friends might have done. So I would be that person that on a, say we all went out on a Saturday night, or we were all like going to stay at a friend's at the other end of the country. I would always want to get a train back quite early on the Sunday. I was not one of those people who's like, let's go out for lunch, let's go out. I mean, sometimes I did, but let's go out all day again, and let's go out again on Sunday night. I needed to have a sense of feeling sharp in case, and there probably was an audition on the Monday. I needed to learn lines. I needed to get bits of work, because I wasn't in a job or a situation where I could just show up and shuffle a few papers and go, oh, I don't know, I'll do a bit more tomorrow. I had to drive my own career in that way. And so I want you to think about what you want to do in this season. So September to December, what is this going to be all about? And so once you've got that in, this is almost like the scaffolding. Once you know what the shape of it is going to be, I want you to think about the other parts of it that you want to have in place. So another thing, for example, I'm going to just give you some silly examples. When my kids go back to school in September, I'm going to have a bit more time in terms of child-free time. So I'm going to cook some more interesting dinners. I declared that in my kitchen earlier. My kids were like, oh gosh, what's she going to make? But what I am going to do is I'm going to do a meal plan for the week. So I'm not spending the additional hours going to the flipping supermarket again, because I seem to spend my life in there buying more and more stuff the whole time. So I'm going to be better organized. And so instead of trying to get into the rhythm of what works and what is needed in terms of other people, I want you to be honest in terms of what you need for your business. And I've had this sometimes where, pals of mine have gone to Vegas and I have said no because I just didn't have a spare $5,000 at that time. And that's fine, because I was spending it in other areas. I was doing different things at that time. And so my final point on this is to really lean in to resources, tools, people that support your dream. So the out of work actor, as they're nicely known, in the UK 20 years ago, it was all that thing of, you're a starving artist, really dedicate yourself to the craft, give everything away for free. And firstly, I couldn't do that because I needed to be able to support myself to live in London. And secondly, I thought, I can't live like this, where I feel really just sucked in the whole time. And so I started to pay attention to what was happening in the States, for example. And many American actors were not saying, oh, I'm just this, waiting for the phone to ring. They were saying, I'm going to start a food brand. I'm going to open a restaurant. I'm going to write a cookbook. I'm going to have a sports line. I'm going to be the face of a perfume campaign. I'm going to direct my own short film. And so I started to lean into that and say, actually, in order to make a dream where I do what I love every single day work, and I knew that wouldn't necessarily just come from acting, how can I bring in other pieces? And as you'll hear, this is how coaching and speaking and writing and podcasting all came in, because I thought I could add some other pieces of the puzzle here, and then it could all, and children, then it could all begin to work together. And then I could start to be in a space where I am owning my skills, talents, experience, USP, etc., rather than feeling it was a negative thing, like, oh, she can't make her mind up what she's doing. She's a jack of all trades, master of none, etc. You know how the saying goes. And that is the final piece, really. It's really getting into a place where you can own your dream, you can own your choices, you can really step into your vision and then make it workable. And sometimes that has had a bit of pushback when I've said, I'm sorry, I can't do that. I can't come to that party, or I can't commit now. And if you need numbers now, I'm going to have to say no because I don't know if I'll be there. There have been things over the years from acting, from various things that I've just had to not be present at. And yes, there have definitely been times where maybe I haven't been the best friend, or I should have done something. But sometimes I just needed to pay bills and I needed to do what I needed to do. And many of us have our own version of that story as well. So that's it for today. Your takeaway is to really figure out what the dream is, what the big idea, what the flavor is, what season are you in, September to December, and then work out what are the pieces, the practical pieces, the emotional pieces, the financial pieces, the support pieces that are really going to enable this dream and really bring it to light in its full brightness. If you want help with this, I would love to help you. Come on over to nickyraby.com/work with me. There are so many freebies on my website as well, nickyraby.com/freebies. Is it freebies or freebies house? One of the two. I will check that. I think it's just freebies. But if you're like, I'm ready, come on, can you help me? Can you help me now? I absolutely can. So just get in touch via the messenger button or just email me. I'll see you tomorrow for day 4.